Hi, I'm Liz from Caravan Guard Insurance. Changing a tyre on a car is something many drivers would have to do at some point during their travels. Knowing that a tyre is deflating can be obvious with either an onboard tyre pressure monitoring warning system or the old-fashioned way of feeling the flat tyre vibration through the steering wheel. With a Caravan in tow, however, knowing that a Caravan tyre is flat and changing a wheel can be a little bit more complex. Firstly, knowing you have a flat tyre is not immediately obvious unless you have a tyre pressure monitor fitted. You won't get the same feedback through the steering wheel, but perhaps get a slight tilt in the Caravan body. Secondly, replacing a wheel on a Caravan requires more preparation than changing a wheel on a car, and it's definitely not for the faint-hearted. It's a good idea to have a separate breakdown policy for your Caravan so you can call for help in the event of a flat tyre. In this step-by-step video, we've come to Lowdhams Leisureworld, and with the help of one of their expert team, we'll go through the process of how to change your Caravan wheel. But before we start, always make sure you're safe. If you have a flat tyre or worse still a tyre blowout and you're on a carriageway, call the Highways Agency to inform them of your position and issue. Towing with a flat tyre at speed will cause damage to the wheel, the surrounding bodywork, and if the tyre delaminates, it can cause significant damage to the structure of your Caravan. If you stopped in a live lane of a dual carriageway or a motorway, pull over when it is safe to do so. Get out of the vehicle and step over any protective barriers and call the Highways Agency to inform them of your predicament and take advice from them. It may also be worth calling your Caravan breakdown provider to get help in changing the wheel for you if your location is in any way dangerous. To change a Caravan wheel and tyre, you'll need these tools and bits of kit: a jack, some chocks, your tow car, a wheel socket, your locking wheel nut, a torque wrench, some protective gloves, a pump and pressure gauge, optionally an axle stand, especially if the Caravan will be jacked up for some time. An important point to note is that not all Caravans have a jacking point installed in them. This is usually an extra accessory that's installed on the chassis rail of the Caravan. You can install one yourself or ask your dealership. There are a few different products available, such as the Alco side lift jack and the Co-Jack system. Both install a jacking point on the Caravan, then a jack attaches to this point to provide safe and secure jacking. Also, if you have a twin-axle Caravan with quad motor movers, the jacking points are inaccessible, so the method we're demonstrating today is the only option if you need to change a wheel. This Caravan doesn't have any jacking points installed, so we're going to use a jack on the axle tubes. Making sure you have all the necessary equipment, start by getting the spare wheel ready. In some cases, the spare might be stored under the bed or in the front locker, but the vast majority of spare wheels are located underneath the Caravan in a carrier. These will likely be a steel wheel rather than an alloy wheel, but will get you to your destination safely. Start by removing the security pin, then loosen the nut until it comes off. Now for the tricky part. Lift the carrier and pull at the same time to remove the frame from the chassis. Once on the floor, pull the frame back until you have access to the retaining bolts holding the wheel secure. It's easy for the carrier underneath the Caravan to seize up, so it's really important to make sure you have your Caravan serviced annually, as they will make sure it is well lubricated in case you need to get to your spare wheel. With a flat tyre, the Caravan will be lower to the ground, and this can make it tricky to access the carrier. If the clearance of the carrier cannot quite make it out, lower the jockey wheel to raise the back of your Caravan. If you're able to pull out the spare wheel, remove the two nuts from the centre of the wheel and pull it away from the Caravan. When jacking up the Caravan, the only things in contact with the floor are the jack, the jockey wheel and the wheel on the opposite side. This can cause the Caravan to twist and potentially fall off the jack, which is incredibly dangerous. So to minimise the risk, we'll make sure the tow car is attached to the Caravan hitch. Chock the wheel or the wheels on a twin axle on the opposite side, making sure the handbrake is on in the car and the Caravan, and that no one is inside the Caravan, and make sure all the corner steadies are raised. Now the Caravan is secure, start by loosening the wheel nuts on the damaged wheel. Don't remove them, just crack them loose to make it easier to remove once the Caravan is lifted off the floor. As mentioned earlier, this Caravan doesn't have jacking points installed. In this case, we'll jack up the Caravan at the end of the axle tube using a trolley jack. This should be done as close as possible to the end where the chassis meets the axle. If your Caravan does have jacking points, then use these with the correct jack. Don't be tempted to use a jack that's supplied with your tow car, as it's likely the weight of the Caravan will exceed the limit of the jack. Jack the Caravan until the wheel is clear off the ground. If you're likely to have the Caravan jacked up for some time, for example if you're heading off to get a replacement wheel, now would be the time to use an axle stand to hold the Caravan in this position. It goes without saying that no one should be underneath the Caravan, and this includes any body parts such as legs or arms. Continue to loosen and remove the wheel bolts, and finally remove the wheel from the Caravan. A top tip here is to leave the bottom wheel nut in until last, then remove to prevent the wheel from falling. We will attach this wheel to the spare wheel carrier later. Check the condition of the spare wheel. Make sure the pressure is correct, the age is within 5 to 7 years, and that the condition of the tyre shows no evidence of cracks, splits or bulges. Check our packed video for details on tyre and wheel safety. If your Caravan came with a separate set of wheel bolts, use these to attach the spare wheel to your Caravan. The spare is made from steel and the bolts are shaped slightly differently to hold the wheel in place. They might also need a different torque setting later on, so check your manual for the correct value. Position the spare wheel on the hub and rotate gently until the bolt holes line up with the hub. Once they align, add one bolt and rotate by hand to hold the wheel in place. With the wheel in place, add the rest of the bolts again until hand tight. Use the wrench to tighten all the bolts until they are tight. We will adjust the torque once the Caravan is back on the floor. Remove any tools and axle stands from under the Caravan, then release the jack to return the Caravan to the ground. Once it's on the ground, torque the wheel nuts to the correct setting, which is detailed in your owner handbook and sometimes on the weight plate. Do this in a star formation around each wheel nut. Reattach the punctured or damaged wheel to the spare wheel carrier. You might need to remove the centre cap from the wheel to reattach it. This can be released later on to get the tyre replaced. Then reinstate the spare wheel carrier back onto the Caravan. Screw on the locking ring and don't forget the security pin to prevent it from coming undone. Don't forget to gather all your tools, then finally check the torque of the newly attached wheel after about 75 to 100 miles of travel.
So there you go. As mentioned earlier, it's worth familiarising yourself with the location of your Caravan's spare wheel, how to remove it and making sure you have the right equipment to remove it and to replace it. An external spare wheel carrier can become seized, so it's important to have an annual Caravan service, as this will make sure it is kept in good working order. But it's also worth checking this yourself periodically to make sure you can access the spare wheel if needed. We'd also recommend the use of a tyre pressure monitoring system to monitor the pressures in the tyres and the temperature. This can be bought and easily fitted to your Caravan tyre valves. The tyre pressure monitoring system valves relay pressure and temperature of each tyre to a dashboard or windscreen mounted display, and that information can give you early notification that something is wrong before any damage is caused, as well as plenty of opportunity to find a safe place to pull over. A tyre pressure monitor and tyre on bands will also save you money on your Caravan insurance premium with Caravan Guard. We hope you found this video useful. Please like and share, and for more hints and tips, why not head on over to the Caravan Guard website. A huge thank you to Lowdhams for helping us with the filming of this video. Thanks for watching and safe towing.